Hi, it's Xavier. I'm in my greenhouse and I want to welcome you to my bonsai retreat. Now way back, 2nd of August, I was busy doing my Japanese Quince. They're in real shoddy soil, but what I did at that point was a bit of pruning, took some wire off, flapped my gums a bit, and I think I even took some cuttings. In fact, should we go and have a look at the clip now? Right, well, it's the first week of August and I've just had to renew my car insurance. Do you know, my van, I only use it 3 or 4 times a year. Road tax is about 320, 30 quid. Insurance for an old duffer like me, I think it came in at 200 quid or something. Then I've got to pay the MOTs, everything. Before I even put it on the road, I normally spend £1,000. I looked at the mileage I did. Do you know, that van cost me just under £22 a mile. I think that's a pretty good deal, don't you? Okay, so look at these quince. Really happy with how they're developing. Lots of growth, particularly with this one. Wired out earlier in the year. Wire isn't digging in particularly, so I may well leave it. I've got some nice growth coming out, and all I'm going to do, I think, give it a little bit of a midsummer prune. Must show you. Come, look in here. Yeah, I just noticed it this morning. I do believe that is a quince. I'm going to have a little Japanese quince there, and I think I've looked on the others, it's the only one that I've actually got. But I don't know, has anyone eaten Japanese quince? Lovely. I don't know if I'm supposed to take it off or not. Actually, the wire's just going in there. I am going to take the wire off some of these. Okay, let's go do that then. Okay, so normal things with pruning. We're just going to bring it right back. I mean, I've got the basic branch structure down there, so I am literally going to go to nice bud points. Clear up stubs and bits of growth that we don't want. Comes in here. But yeah, as you're probably aware, I'm tending to follow a lot more Harry Harrington's sort of guidance, species guide for work on different stuff, mainly because he's the sort of northern end, well, northern, he's definitely nearer my area of UK, and every time I follow his advice, bonsai for you, it works. So if you haven't looked at his species guide on his website, make sure you do. There is a link in my description for it. Bring back. Now, as I understand it, this pruning won't actually affect flowers next year. So, because we do want those lovely flowers on this. I'm not sure about this little one at the bottom, but I don't know. Part of me likes it. So, and again, this is probably the first year that I've really looked at the Japanese quince properly. So I'm also going to be learning from it, because although other people can tell me how to do it, I'm the only one who knows how it responds in my garden conditions and with my particular care routine. Now, I did see on the other one that the wire was biting in, so I'm tempted to remove the wire here. There may well be little points. I'd rather remove it now. I would definitely imagine, well, I've already got some cuttings of these last year. These lengths of Japanese quince, I'll 6 inches or so. I'll remove the bottom leaves and I'll just chuck them in soil. I won't do anything special. Last time they rooted really easily. So that's going to be a cut off there, because I quite like this branch here, to be honest. So we've got this here, up there. To be fair, that whole length can go. And the other reason, primary reason again for cleaning out, is not only to get light into the tree, but also to help us find the bugs. Okay. Right. Well, that's pretty well it. Okay. Well, I've just cleaned up these for cuttings, and that's what I mean by the length. That sort of length, 6 inches. Need a little smaller leaves, and I'll plant those straight into a vermiculite mix, probably vermiculite and sand.
Let's just get the wire off. See if we get the branches holding there. Yeah, if you look there, we've just got a little bit of scarring, so I would rather we reduce the chance of that happening anymore. Give that a spin. Don't intend to do anything more on that until we hit the repot on it, which I'm sure you're about to see. So I'm going to do the other three, show you what they look like afterwards, and then hand you back over to me when I've either got more hair or less hair. Well, this wasn't going to turn into a cuttings video, but you know what? Let's record when I take these Japanese Quince, because they were the ones I took last year. Lots of growth on them, just 3 of them, and I'm sure I just dumped them into the soil, to be honest. Normally what I do is I go around all my cuttings, some fail, and there's bound to be some empty pots where I've got some failed bits in there. I just reuse them, which is what I'm going to do today, because in there, I think when I was doing my hornbeam, looks like hornbeam, I was pruning my hornbeam, and I thought, I wonder if I can just take hardwood cuttings. I think the answer is no. I know for a fact last year I didn't use any sort of rooting hormone, but it can't hurt. So let's get these all in here. You don't want to see me poking something into the dirt, do you? I'll show you when it's finished. Anyway, that's me done now. These have all been pruned up, and got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I've got a dozen Japanese Quince cuttings. You saw the ones that are taken last year. Let's follow these. Maybe this will become a long-term growing from cutting project. Who knows? Only you can tell me whether or not you want me to hang around for that long. So, best hand you back to me then, shall I? Over to you.
Okay, well that all looked pretty good, didn't it? But truthfully, we need to get it out of that soil. So today, I'm going to do just that. But I'm not going to do it here, because I need to see it, because the old rump ain't so good at being down at this level, and the old mighty knees are going to take at least 10 minutes to get me back up. But I'll save you from that tragedy. So instead, let's cut to me in front of my blue screen.
Okay, well, back up from the greenhouse. Let's have a look at the first one. Not much roots out the bottom. I think you very quickly see. This is the nursery soil. It's quite fine roots, and truthfully, I'm probably going to take quite a lot of this out. Again, I think these, I actually bought these from Beechwood's nurseries about 3 or 4 years ago, and they worked out to $5 each, I think. So they're not, I suppose they're not the cheapest of nursery stock material, but they work out. There we go, loads of roots on there, but I'm going to take a chance and see if this repotting now, as per Harry Harrington, is really effective. I mean, that is just pure peat. It's no good for developing root, no good for developing the sort of roots that we want. It's also got those root gall on it, which I don't like particularly. And I'll be the first one to put my hands up and say I'm a little bit nervous about how this will respond, to be honest. But there's some roots on there. But I don't want to go too far on it. Right, so that's what we've got. There's a lot of roots that's come off, so I am going to have to reduce some of this foliage. I'm not sure. I think when I talked about it the first time, I wasn't sure about this one here because of what it creates. And having looked at it, do I go this way or do I take this one? I'm tempted to take, mind you, whichever way you look at it, that's very, very long. It's got a nice side branch there. Do you know what? I've taken a lot of roots off. See what I can do with that. Okay. Let's see what we're going to put it in then, shall we? Okay, well it's going to go into a little plastic training pot because I haven't got any more pond baskets, so lack of preparation there. Bad Zav. It's the number 2 mix from Kaizen, so I don't think really I'm worried about potting angle right now. I just want to establish this into what will be some very nice soil. Okay, well there it is. Truthfully, I wonder whether perhaps it should have just, to do the potting this time of the year, whether it actually needed to have some sort of established root mass already. Don't know, time will tell. But what was very clear, very clear, was that the soil they were in was so wet, soggy that hey, I don't know whether it would have made it through the winter. These are slow release Dougie's balls, so they shouldn't cause an issue. It's got 2 months for that root structure to go and thrive, which is when it's supposed to do it. Alright, well it's nothing dramatic, I know. But this will be the perfect test case because you saw how much roots it took off it in the end. And a bit nervous, yes, because it's the first time I've repotted a Japanese Quince at this time of the year. Sometimes, you know, when I've got as many trees as I have, I feel I can take that chance and listen to someone who I trust, and throw the dice. And so far, everything that's come from Harry Harrington in terms of UK species and repot has worked out absolutely spot on. So, you know, there was roots on there, and that was healthy enough. But certainly the soil it was in was just peat, clag, moist. 3 years, the sort of growth this has had, nothing. I should have got to this 2 years ago. But that's that one. I've got this big one still to do. This one's much more interesting. And then these two here, which interesting enough. So I'll repot all 3 of them and then I'll give you a quick spin in a 12 at the end, shall I? Okay, well this one got cut down quite a bit as well. As I say, I reduced this by probably 50% of the growth here. I'm not sure if I've got a picture I can flash up to show you what it was, or if you can look back and remember. But I like this trunk part here that was coming out. Whether that stays in the final design, who knows. So, there we go. 2 we managed to get in little pond baskets. Interesting. We'll see how they look like. Nothing too special to think about. You've seen that one. And then this one, as I say, that little twin trunk at the base. I hope this is, out of all of them, I really hope this one does well. So that's the Japanese Quince done. We had the early pruning done beginning of August, and finally we've gone for this early autumn repot, and looking at the root structure that was there, they needed it, and in fact I needed to get to these 2 years ago. So my only thing that I would say to you, if you get nursery stock, if you're actually going to get it because it's a bargain, then say to yourself, can I deal with it either right now or at least the very next spring? so that you can minimise the amount of time it spends in completely unsuitable soil and the time that the roots get to be absolutely wrecked by lack of inattention. Lack of inattention? No. Lack of inattention is attention. Double negatives. So, you know what I mean. Anyway, so from Xavier in his bonsai retreat, getting to the bottom of Japanese Quince. Hopefully next year we're going to see these come up in gorgeous flowers like they did this year, and hopefully they will absolutely flourish and be thankful for all this brilliant soil I've given them, even though I have cut off most of their limbs, so to speak. All the best, happy bonsaiing, God bless. Cheers.